The jurisdiction of British Columbia is about to convene for the ceremony of installation. We have assembled this evening for the purpose of installing the 2020-2021 appointed officers of the Grand Guardian Council of British Columbia, Job's Daughters International. I will call the roll of the appointed officers who will serve this Grand Guardian Council for the ensuing year. Grand Guardian Donna Perch. Associate Grand Guardian Roy Bailey. Vice Grand Guardian Cindy Bice. Vice Associate Grand Guardian Kenneth Sue. Grand Guide Carmel Bateman. Grand Secretary Jennifer Espin. Grand Treasurer Sharon Landreth. Grand Chaplain Lisa Hume. Grand Librarian Tracy Murray. Grand Director of Music Kelly Conley. Grand First Messenger Kiston Lake. Grand Second Messenger Jamie Willows. Grand Third Messenger Karen Norberg. Grand Fourth Messenger Katie Harmer. Grand Fifth Messenger Claire Schultz. Grand Junior Custodian David Nesbitt. Grand Senior Custodian Steve Clark. Grand Beekeeper Alita Van Thiel. Grand Council Officers. You will place your right hand over your heart and repeat the following obligation. I solemnly affirm on my honor that I will conform to the Constitution and bylaws
that I will conform to the Constitution and bylaws
and the standard operating procedures
and the standard operating procedures
of the Supreme Guardian Council
of the Supreme Guardian Council
and the Manual of Rules and Regulations
and the rules and regulations
of the Grand Guardian Council of British Columbia.
of the Grand Guardian Council of British Columbia.
And I will faithfully perform
I will faithfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
and earnestly endeavor to promote the welfare
to promote the welfare
and the prosperity of our order.
and the prosperity of our order.
That I will endeavor
That I will endeavor
by precept and example
by precept and example
to encourage in our daughters
encouraging our daughters
practice of those virtues,
the practice of those virtues,
principles, and lofty ideals
principles and lofty ideals
which adorn womanhood and make life rich, full, and abundant.
and make life rich, full, and abundant.
Grand Beekeeper, Ms. Alita Van Thiel. It is your duty to facilitate and share ideas on how to have effective Joby2B programs around the province. You were specifically chosen for this very special task because of your energy, enthusiasm, and willingness to share your light. Thus, to you has been entrusted the precious future members of BC Job's Daughters. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Junior Custodian, Mr. David Nesbitt. Grand Junior Custodian, it is your duty to care for the properties of the Grand Guardian Council during its sessions, and at all times to give the Grand Guardian such assistance as she may require of you. May your faithfulness to duty be a great benefit to our order. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Chaplain, Mrs. Lisa Hume. Grand Chaplain, it is your duty to attend at the altar and lead this body in its devotions. Prayer is incense moving heavenward, fraught with hopes and desires. The beauty and the uplifting influence of sincere utterance of faith in God's guidance and ever-ready strength as expressed in prayer means much to our meeting. May God guide you in preparing for this service. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Director of Music, Mrs. Kelly Conley. Grand Director of Music, it is your duty to supervise and direct the music in this grand jurisdiction. God gave us music. It is the essence of our order and leads to all that is good, beautiful, and harmonious. So attune your life that you may impart the heavenly gift of music to our Bethels. How necessary to consider the message you bring through the strings of your instrument. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Librarian, Mrs. Tracy Murray.
Installing officer.
Grand Librarian, it is your duty to recommend to the Bethels articles and books that will be helpful to Bethel librarians. Whoever can develop a new idea, impel a noble thought, or cause to be expressed one lofty sentence, bestows a great blessing on the world. Give your selections for our daughters your most earnest and prayerful consideration. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand First Messenger, Mrs. Kiston Lake.
Installing officer.
Grand Second Messenger, Mrs. Jamie Willows.
Installing officer.
Grand Third Messenger, Mrs. Karen Norberg.
Installing officer.
Grand Fourth Messenger, Mrs. Katie Harmer.
Installing officer.
Grand Fifth Messenger, Ms. Claire Schultz.
Yes, installing officer.
Grand Messengers, you are to fill the 5 stations representing the story of the life of Job, upon which the ritual of our order is founded. Your duty is to assist the Grand Guardian when requested to do so. Job's daughters are the fairest in all the land. With patience strive, in faith be firm, God will reward your high endeavors, and may you ever be true messenger of helpfulness. Grand First Messenger, Ms. Kiston Lake, are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Second Messenger, Mrs. Jamie Willows, are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Third Messenger, Mrs. Karen Norberg, are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Fourth Messenger, Mrs. Katie Harmer, are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Fifth Messenger, Ms. Claire Schultz, are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Secretary, it is your duty to keep a record of all proceedings of the Grand Guardian Council and make an annual report thereof. To receive all monies due the Grand Guardian Council and turn them over to the Grand Treasurer and perform the many other duties you'd find in the laws of the order. Our progress depends largely upon the skill and intelligence with which you perform the trust that has been committed to you. Promptness and accuracy are essential. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
Grand Treasurer,
Installing officer.
it is your duty to have charge of all funds and securities belonging to the Grand Guardian Council, to receive all monies from the Grand Secretary, keeping an accurate account of the same, and make a complete report at the annual meeting. Integrity and honor will guide you in a faithful performance of your duties. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
It is with pleasure that I introduce Ms. Jennifer Espin, who's just been installed as Grand Secretary, and Mrs. Sharon Landreth, who's just been installed as Grand Treasurer. Grand Guide,
Installing officer.
it is your duty to escort distinguished guests and bring such matters before the Grand Guardian Council as will promote the growth and welfare of the organization. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Carmel Bateman, who's just been installed as Grand Guide. Vice Grand Guardian,
Installing officer.
it is your duty to assist the Grand Guardian and assume her duties during her absence and disability. It is also your duty to promote the growth of the order. You are a weaver, adding new threads to our cloth of gold. Let it be your endeavor to add to its beauty, enhance its value, and promote its usefulness. Are you willing to accept the duties of this office?
I am.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Cindy Bice, who's just been installed as Vice Grand Guardian.
Associate Grand Guardian Roy Bailey. It is your duty to assist the Grand Guardian in the performance of her duties, to assist her in all matters pertaining to the welfare of the order and its relationship to Freemasonry, and to preside when requested to do so. The exercise of the principles of Freemasonry will enable you to perform your duties with honor and credit. Are you willing to assume these responsibilities?
I am.
Grand Guardian,
Installing
now
all.
kneel and place your hands on the Holy Bible.
They can get up.
Grand Guardian, you will repeat after me. I sincerely promise that I will faithfully obey
I sincerely promise that I will faithfully obey
and justly enforce
and justly enforce
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
and standard operating procedures
and standard operating procedures
of the Supreme Guardian Council
of the Supreme Guardian Council
and the Manual of Rules and Regulations of this Grand Guardian Council,
and the Manual of Rules and Regulations of this Grand Guardian Council
of Job's Daughters International,
of Job's Daughters International,
that I will perform the duties of my office
that I will perform the duties of my office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
that I will promote the growth of our order and foster its welfare,
that I will promote the growth of our order and foster its welfare,
and that I will strive to be fair and impartial
and that I will strive to be fair and impartial
in the exercise of the powers of my office,
in the exercise of the powers of my office.
so help me God.
So help me God.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Donna Perch, who has just been installed as Grand Guardian.
Yahoo! Woo, 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 woo. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Roy Bailey, who has just been installed as Associate Grand Guardian.
Yay.
Roy!
Grand Guardian, the duties of your office are defined in the Manual of Rules and Regulations of this Grand Guardian Council and Constitution and bylaws of the Supreme Guardian Council, which are entrusted in your care. Into your custody is given the charter of this Grand Guardian Council. In your keeping is now entrusted the guidance and control of our order in this jurisdiction. Yours is an office of great responsibility, as the welfare of the organization depends upon the manner in which you conduct its affairs. It is our prayer that our Heavenly Father will give you courage to meet every difficulty, wisdom to judge each question aright, and to sustain you in the performance of every duty. Grand Guardian, I now present you with the gavel, the emblem of your authority as Grand Guardian. Wield it with wisdom, justice, and equality. May our order be a lasting monument to the virtues illustrated in the life of Job: patience, faith, wisdom, and justice. With God's help, may you conduct its affairs with thoughtful care for the benefit of our Masonic daughters. Thus will our order increase in prosperity and be an influence for good as the future unfolds. I congratulate you and your officers. We all wish for you a most successful year.
Installing Grand Officer, you will proclaim the officers of this Grand Guardian Council duly and legally installed.
By direction of the Grand Guardian and by the authority of the Supreme Guardian Council, I now proclaim the officers of the Grand Guardian Council of British Columbia, Job's Daughters International, duly and legally installed for the ensuing year, with the exception of the Vice Associate Grand Guardian, Grand Marshal, Grand Inner Guard, Grand Outer Guard, and Grand Senior Custodian.
Thank you. Remarks? Miss BCJD Maya Fairburn-Weeb, would you like to bring remarks?
Absolutely, I would love to. Okay, I bring you greetings on behalf of the Job's Daughters of British Columbia. First off, congratulations to the Grand Guardian Council of 2019-2020. Thank you for all that you did for our jurisdiction during your time. Mrs. Peatman and Mr. Gilmore, thank you for being Abby and I's second set of parents. You will always mean the most to me, and I know that Abby feels the exact same way. You worked so hard, not only to get to Grand Guardian, but also you worked so hard for our jurisdiction while you were in your positions. I know our term ended on an uncertain and lengthened note, but you handled everything with grace, dignity, and in a swift manner. To the new Grand Guardian Council, congratulations on being installed. I know we are headed into uncharted territory, but I know that you will have an amazing term. Congratulations, especially to Mrs. Perch and Mr. Bailey. I know that you will have an amazing term, if not interesting and unique. Thank you to all the adults who continue to serve our jurisdiction and our order. We definitely would not be where we are without you guys, and I truly appreciate everything you do, and I know that the daughters of our jurisdiction do as well. So you are truly appreciated, and I thank you for taking on this enormous task of wrangling our jurisdiction. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your special evening. I know that it's a limited group of people due to the circumstance, but I am so lucky to be here and to have watched you all get installed. So thank you so much for having me, and I wish you all a wonderful year.
Grand Bethel Honor Queen, Abby Macy, would you like to bring remarks?
I would love to. Thank you. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Grand Bethel of British Columbia. This has been a really, really fun evening. I know we all wished it was different circumstances and we were face-to-face seeing each other, and I miss a lot of you so much. I miss all of you so much. But I'm so happy that I got to be here tonight for this evening and to spend it all with you. I'm just so insanely grateful. To the new Grand Guardian and Associate Grand Guardian, Mr. Bailey and Mrs. Perch, I am so excited just to see everything you two are able to do, because I know you will do absolutely fantastic work. And for all four of you, Mrs. Peatman and Mr. Gilmore included, I know we all wish this wasn't happening, but I don't think we could have picked four better people to lead us through this and to help us throughout these really uncertain and strange times. I think you all have just done absolutely incredible work and will continue to do incredible work in bringing us through all of this. Mrs. Peatman and Mr. Gilmore, Maya said most of what I was going to say as well, so I will repeat her a little bit. Thank you so much for everything you have done for us this year. Mrs. Peatman, thank you for being our driver on most of our long trips and for your super comfy car. I'm very grateful. And just for being an absolutely incredible woman. I've known you for most of my time in Joby's, and you have just been such an inspiration to me, and I'm so happy I got to work with you this year. Mr. Gilmore, you're like a big teddy bear, and I love spending time with you, and you're so amazing. And I hope you know, once all of the craziness that's happening in the world right now is over, the four of us are going to go out for ice cream, but we're going to pay for your ice cream this time, so you're not allowed to pay for any more ice cream. And I never told the two of you this, but I remember when you two got introduced at Daughter's Luncheon for the first time as a pair. And now I'm crying, and I wasn't going to cry because this was online and it was supposed to be easier. You both got introduced, and I leaned over to the girl next to me, and I was like, hey, I don't know who their Grand Bethel Honor Queen and their Miss are going to be, but they are the two luckiest girls in the entire world. And I don't know what I did to deserve that honor, but I'm so grateful for this year, and I'm going to remember everything for the rest of my life. I love you too, Maya. I miss you. And I'm so excited just to see what we all do next and how this insane thing that's happening right now. I'm just so grateful to get to spend it virtually with all of you. And I'm so excited to see what the next steps for this jurisdiction are. And thank you so much for asking me to be here tonight.
Past Associate Grand Guardian, Mr. Gilmore, would you like to bring remarks?
New Grand Guardian, Miss Donna Perch. I had it right in front of me and I lost it. Anyway, Roy, here's the Stan Cole pin. I don't know if you can see that or not. I've taken it off my badge lapel ribbon, so it's waiting for you. I'll get it delivered to Donna or to you as fast as I can. The Stan Cole pin is to be worn by the Associate Grand Guardian during his term of office. The pin was presented by Mrs. Cole to the Grand Guardian Council in 1972. George Beeman was the first Associate Grand Guardian to wear the pin. Stan Cole, father of Jackie Bogle, past Honor Queen of Bethel No. 6, was Associate Grand Guardian in 1952-53. And I don't know what to say after such nice things were said already by our young ladies. I really enjoyed the year getting to know all the girls around the province. You are truly amazing. Thank you so much for the grand officers for your support and laughter this term. You provide such a warm feeling when we're all together. Maya and Abby, time with both of you was fun and easy. You were so organized, all I had to do was follow. Well done, girls. Donna, Grand Guardian, getting to know you was a treat. You have it together and we'll be an amazing Grand Guardian. Roy, good luck in keeping up with her. Edith, thank you so much for letting me have the good time while you handled all the dirty work. You drove us everywhere. You took care of us. I think I was more of a kid than the girls were. I really appreciate the time and effort you gave to us, and you did an amazing, awesome job. You should be proud of yourself. And that's all I got to say tonight, folks. Thank you.
Past Grand Guardian, Edith Peatman. Would you, yay! You can stop sending me countdown minutes. Would you like to?
Grand Guardian Donna Purge. The Bertha Maud Heron pin, past Bethel Guardian of Bethel No. 1, 1934 to 35. She was appointed Grand Guardian of BC for 1939 to 1940. She passed away in 1956. Her pin was presented to the Grand Guardian Council by her daughter, Marjorie Burnett, past Honor Queen of Bethel 1, past Guardian of Bethel No. 5, Rossland, and past Grand Guardian of British Columbia. The Bertha Heron pin is to be worn by the presiding Grand Guardian during her term of office, and upon annual presentation is to be so referred to. First Grand Guardian to wear this pin was Rose Mackenzie in 1957 to 58. Bertha Heron has two granddaughters who are past Honor Queens of Bethel No. 5 and one great-granddaughter, a past Honor Queen of Bethel No. 4 in Trail. The Emily Maxwell Grand Guardian pin, presented to the Grand Guardian Council in 1982 and to be worn by the Grand Guardian along with the Bertha Heron pin. This pin has been worn by Honor Queens of Bethel No. 1 since 1967. Brenda Martin Sewell was the first Grand Guardian to wear this pin. These are for you, Donna. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for their patience in this unprecedented time. I ask that you continue with your understanding as the new Grand Guardian and Associate Grand Guardian and the rest of the Grand Guardian Council move forward. I am thankful to the jurisdiction for giving me the opportunity to serve the jurisdiction for this past year. It truly has been an awesome journey. Bill, thanks for coming along on this Yellow Brick Road adventure. You've been an outstanding partner. Thank you so much. To our Miss and Grand Bethel Honor Queen, you two have been an absolute delight to travel with and watch as you engaged with those whom you met along the way. Maya and Abby, thank you for completing our team, and I wish you all the best as you go forward. To the Grand Officers for being a part of this year's journey, thank you. To the executive ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this time. Once you reach the top, it goes by in a whirl. To Donna and Roy, I wish you all the best, and I know the jurisdiction is in good hands. Everyone, please join in wishing the new Grand Guardian, Associate Grand Guardian, and their officers a most magical year. Edith Peatman, past Grand Guardian.
Yay!
Thank you. Roy, would you like to bring your remarks now?
I just have a few brief remarks. First off, I'd like to thank Edith and Bill for their leadership and commitment that they have shown to the Job's Daughters in their year, and for staying on long enough for this appointment to take place. Also to the Grand Guardian Council for all the work they have done, and I look forward to having most magical year with you, Donna, and I will be there to support you and all the daughters throughout our jurisdiction, as they are the fairest in the land. I look forward to meeting everyone once we're able to do so in person, and thank you, and please stay safe. And I didn't prepare any much more than that because I'm not long-winded. But I thank you all for your dedication to the Job's Daughters and look forward to working with you all throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you. I have learned that a group of butterflies is called a kaleidoscope. I love this. I believe that the life of a butterfly symbolizes Job's daughters. Our daughters grow and aspire and become amazing, competent, strong young women who inspire and lead others. Each one of you is your own special, colorful self who matters and who can be whatever you want to be. Thank you to Bill and Edith for being our installing officers this evening. You are making history in our jurisdiction by being the installing officers for the next Grand Guardian Council. You did a great job. And thank you for the awesome leadership that you have given BC Job's Daughters this year, and particularly this last month. You have been amazing. I know that one of our first priorities upon being allowed to gather again will be to celebrate your year and give it the closure that it deserves. Thank you to our Grand Secretary, Jennifer Espin, for getting us organized for tonight's event. And thank you to Reagan Seward and Jamie Willis for making sure that the whole jurisdiction can view this ceremony as well. Thank you to my family for all your support and helping me make lemonade out of lemons that life has dealt us. Some sugar. To Roy, thank you for coming on this journey. It will be different from what we had planned, but we will make it work. Congratulations to all of the Grand Officers on your new positions. I hope you will have a magical year. And thank you to everyone for joining us tonight and for watching the recording later. I would like to thank the jurisdiction for the honor of doing this job for an organization that I love. Thank you for the faith and confidence that you have placed in me. I had a whole other part to my speech to explain all of our plans and challenges for the year, but as you can imagine, I have to rethink and rework all those plans to adapt them for our current situation. So please stay tuned for what our year will bring. However, I do want to impress upon you that BC Job's Daughters is still here. We will not fade quietly away. We will practice patience and have our faith. And when we can gather together again, we will celebrate our reward. In the meantime, I encourage daughters, adults, and Bethels to reach out to one another through our technology. Stay home, wash your hands, stay healthy, stay connected, meet virtually, and support one another. Our theme this year is the magic of youth. Our power words are based off of the word magic. We believe that as Job's daughters, you matter, you aspire, you grow, you inspire, and you can. Thank you. Grand Chaplain, you will give the closing prayer.
Thank you, Grant. Our Heavenly Father, we ask Thee to watch over our Grand Guardian officers. Keep their hearts pure as they embrace their roles, guiding the fairest in all the land. Grant them patience and grace as they labor for the good of our order and spread the spirit of love and charity throughout our grand jurisdiction. We ask this in Thy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for coming. Stay safe. And this completes our ceremony.